You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. By now we all know the kind of people that were invested in setting up R. Kelly and making sure he was locked up over their rather sentimental comments and a shortage of facts. Among these is now outgoing District Attorney Kim Foxx, the lead attorney on the New York case against R. Kelly, Gloria Allred, Sony reps, surviving R. Kelly executive producer and ex-lover to famous rapper Jay-Z Dream Hampton, and many more individuals who are not short of social mistakes and records of crime themselves. We now know that Kim Foxx herself has not been a saint following the leaking of her acts of domestic violence against her husband, acts that saw law enforcement show up at her house to rescue the poor man from a charged Kimberly who almost killed him. We also know that Gloria Allred, who has spent a large part of her career advocating for gay rights, only became lead attorney on this case as a replacement of Angel Krull, who fled after she was busted by the authorities. Angel Krull went into a forced premature retirement after it was discovered she had been sexting alleged R. Kelly victims of the same sex, and complimenting their nudes, describing their skins as smooth and breast tender, something which violated standard professional code of conduct and compromises quality of service delivery. It was also revealed by lawyers of Daryl McDavid that she had also been involved in illegal soliciting of said evidence from anti-Kelly journalist Jim DeRogatis using burner emails she would later dispose off, and was making arrangements to receive even more packages from him before she was caught. We also cannot forget that these government prosecutors again arranged for the illegal access to R. Kelly's prison communication data in an act of witness tampering that is simply unforgivable by the U.S. laws. Without going so deep into the details of the government's legal mistakes and the gaffes of the numerous persons that worked as accessories to their schemes, let's return to disgraced law practitioner Michael Avenatti, who ticks all the boxes of a serial criminal to top this chart of lawbreakers that pursued Robert Sylvester Kelly. This street-smart attorney had become a notorious fraudster that got away with a series of crimes against not just people he did know closely, but also his own clients who came to him seeking legal advice. Fond of taking advantage of everyone he came across, Michael Avenatti did not waste a minute to jump onto the case against R. Kelly with the hope that he would blackmail him in sending him money, or extort the alleged victims once the restitutions were paid. Thankfully, before R. Kelly's trial could even commence, his previous crimes caught up with him after he gave a shot at defrauding big corporation Nike and burnt his hands in the process. Gladly he made the work of the DOJ easier and confessed to his crimes to avoid a life sentence. Why are we talking about these people and their own flaws in life? These are the same individuals that managed to convince New York Judge Ann Donnelly and Chicago Judge Harry Leinenweber that R. Kelly was a guilty man. It is on testimonies ushered into court by these people that the two judges based to arrive at their verdicts and declare R. Kelly a very guilty man, slapping him with a 30 and 20-year sentence in Brooklyn and Illinois respectively. Like these people even had the moral authority to bring a 5-time Grammy winner to his knees in such a bogus case that only targeted his defamation. For God's sake, the judge was able to trust perpetrators of domestic violence, serial fraudsters and a prosecution of limitless lawbreakers enough to use their accounts as the benchmark to convict R. Kelly and lock him up for the remaining part of his life. Just how shallow can the DOJ be to ignore all the demands of our criminal court that witnesses be credible, and that the government operates within the laws if they must win a case against any defendant? Not forgetting that the government witnesses had also been repeated violators of the law from the past that time and again lied under oath and confessed to blackmail attempts like it was okay for them to commit these crimes. For a defendant to be convicted in a criminal court, the proof in form of evidence presented by the government should be believable beyond reasonable doubt. Let's forget that the evidence presented was inconclusive and not sufficient in itself. Even the individuals that presented this information lacked the credibility to make it admissible by court. It's important to remember that most of the evidence presented against R. Kelly was simple word of mouth in form of stories by witnesses who were only believed by the jurors for what they said and not what they proved. However, for a criminal case to come to a conclusion and judgment, mere stories told by witnesses cannot suffice, especially when they are told by non-credible witnesses that were presented in court by equally non-credible government prosecutors and fraudsters of attorneys. Just like Michael Avenatti, who is currently rotting in prison for crimes he confessed to manage to con his clients and take millions of dollars from them. This could have been a perfect motivation for him to bear false witness against R. Kelly, and such a person cannot be the one supplying videos against defendant to the Honorable U.S. Federal Court and claiming they have not been tampered with. I mean, how can we be sure a fraudster of his caliber would leave such a delicate piece of information untampered with so he can find his way into R. Kelly's deep pockets like he has always done to others? There is also no way for us to believe that prosecutors who were willing to violate their code of conduct and send suggestive messages to alleged victims were not compromised by their own sexual desires, to bear false witness to the court just so they could take advantage of these same women they say R. Kelly abused. Worse still, such prosecutors were not even punished or brought to book as expected. Instead, they were protected and sheltered from prosecution in an act of corruption, further tainting the team of accusers that courts still managed to believe and lock up R. Kelly. As if that was not enough, Kim Foxx herself, who has been at the forefront of things when it comes to prosecuting R. Kelly, is a known perpetrator of domestic violence. Violence serious enough to see a police contingent dispatched to her house to save her husband from her venomous attack. How are we to believe that this woman wouldn't have killed her husband had the police not shown up in time to stop the fight? Her background of domestic violence against men does not allow her to be behind such an indictment of a high-profile celebrity who in the real sense was the victim of these shrewd women. Kim Foxx could have seen this as an opportunity for her to get at men after failing with her mission against her own husband. She cannot be the one behind R. Kelly's indictment and not cause us to doubt whatever evidence she based on. It's no wonder she was the one advertising for women to come forward to help her crucify the R&B king. Kim Foxx is potentially damaged and should not be believed by the Honorable Court. The appeal court ought to look into the credibility of every single person that was involved in taking down R. Kelly and dismiss this case for reasonable doubt. A prayer by Ruby Mitchell. Lord Jesus, please step in and show out and give R. Kelly his freedom. Stop all of these evil and wicked people and punish them for their wrongs. They are destroying one of your very own. One of your children, just as we all are. R. Kelly is a human being and there's nobody perfect but you, God. Please save R. Kelly from all of these wrong and evil people. This is my prayer, Lord. I know that you can do it because you can do anything. You are the miracle worker and there's absolutely nothing too hard for you to do. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.